Welcome to the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce Quick Takes Legislative Live video series. My name is Matt Murphy, the Government Regional Affairs Director for the Chamber. In this series, we're going to share quick visits with our local legislators. We want to know what's going on, what the hot topics are, and what in general is happening in Olympia. I want to thank the Tire Factory and MacKay Sposito for their support of this series as policy engagement partners. Today, we are joined by Representative Skyler Rude from the 16th Legislative District. Hello and welcome, Representative Rude.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. So Representative Rude, this is your seventh session. So, gosh, I got here. You're almost an old hand at this, but I'd say you're an old hand at this. So that's cool. The fiscal cutoff date has come and gone, and you have until March 12th to get all the floor action done. What's life going to look like in the next week or so for you guys?
Going to be pretty busy up until this point because I'm on the Appropriations Committee. That's the committee that sees the operating budget and bills that have fiscal impact. So this whole last week we've been meeting. Yesterday was a 13-hour day, 13 hours in committee straight. So it's been tiring. We're going to transition to floor starting next week. So bills that have made it out of committee, we'll start going through the House floor votes on those. So it'll continue to get busier and busier until we get to the House of Origin cutoff, where all bills have to be out of the House.
And that's the March 12th date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you walk me through the process? A bill gets in, it gets out of the policy committee. And what's the process? Where does it go from there? How does it work?
Sure. I'll just use financial education, which is my bill, as an example. So it was introduced by me, assigned to the House Education Committee, where I'm the ranking member. And then had a public hearing, had a committee vote recommending a due pass. So then it got assigned to the Appropriations Committee because it had a fiscal impact. This rule changes periodically. It's kind of up to the majority to decide where the fiscal impact threshold is, where they refer it to appropriations. In the past, it's been as low as $50,000. This year, my understanding is it got moved to $250,000. So a bill that had less than $250,000 in impact would probably skip appropriations. My bill had about $450,000 of impact to the state budget. So it went to appropriations. We just had a hearing on it. I anticipate that it will move out of the Appropriations Committee in time. It's scheduled for executive session today. And then all bills get referred to the Rules Committee. So whether they went through a policy committee, had no impact, went policy committee to rules, or policy committee to fiscal committee to rules, all bills end up in rules. So that's the last step before the Rules Committee moves the bill to the House floor for consideration.
And so what's the process for getting it out of rules? Now, I know in the Senate, it goes to Ways and Means instead of appropriations, right?
I don't know what the process is in the Senate. Okay. I do know that it's a little bit different because the Lieutenant Governor chairs the Rules Committee, which I think is interesting, or at least that's how it was a few years ago. I guess it's has become a little bit of a frustration for me. The Rules Committee is a committee like any of the others, where their membership, there's chair. According to the House rules, the Rules Committee has authority collectively as a committee to move bills to the floor. They can pass House resolutions in the Rules Committee. There are a few other things that rules can do. Over the last, some of this happened before I got there, but since I've been there, it's become a lot less formal, and oftentimes there won't even be a committee meeting, and the Speaker of the House will screen the bills herself, which limits which bills she considers to be eligible for to be moved out of that committee. So it's kind of become less democratic in that committee and more of leadership decisions happening to move bills out. to the point that sometimes um, it'll just be the speaker consulting with the minority leader and pulling a package of bills out. So I'd like us to get back to a more formal process where there's consideration and voting of the full committee membership.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So then it goes to I was looking at the calendar. I mean, does it come out of rules and go on the calendar? Then it's still up to that speaker whether or not it gets a vote, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, the committee, the rules committee, could take a vote to move a bill out of committee, but um, and I think those opportunities are important, and the more informal process has given quite a bit of power to the majority. So that's my
Sure.
frustration.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Representative Rude. Before we wrap things up, besides the end of the session, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to and hoping to accomplish over the next, say, 50 days of session?
I would say there are a lot of bad bills that I hope die miserable deaths. Um, I think, I mean, this is my seventh session, and I have never seen so many bad bills. Um, I mean, we just moved a bill out of committee, out of appropriations, that creates a new loan program for people who can't afford personal art in their home to loan with taxpayer dollars, loan money to people to buy art. It's like, why would that be a priority of the legislature? So there are things like that. There's a bill to allow inmates to vote and run for office, serve on juries. Actually, that the jury part got removed. But just this totally wrong direction
Right.
for Eastern Washington values. And so I'm hoping to see a lot of dead bad bills and maybe a couple wins.
Okay, super. So, well, this is Legislative Live Quick Takes. It's a quick look at the life of legislators in Olympia. I want to respect your time. I know in talking with your LA, you'll probably be up until midnight tonight, serving us. But I do want to thank you for everything that you do for the Tri-Cities region and for all your hard work in Olympia. So thank you.
Absolutely.